Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Frank Data Di Lorenzo here to spend another 15 minutes on our weekly Quick Launch Live event to discuss with you the art of drilling down. What does that mean? Very excited to be here with you today. As always, love talking about data. Remember, the purpose of these events in just 15 minutes is to give you some direction or food for thought, a bit of education. But each topic we talk about certainly could merit further conversation. So as always, please reach out to us. Anybody in our team would love to talk to you about your data, and I would love to help. Now, if you're with us live, please do put a one in the chat. If you watch on our company LinkedIn page where these are kept under events, if you watch afterwards, put a two. And if you want us to reach out and help you with anything, put a three. That'll be another indicator, or just call us, really, whatever you'd like to do. But very excited to get started. So, to tee this up, I'm going to go through just a few slides to conceptually explain what I mean by the art of drilling down. And then I've got an example Excel sheet that we can look at, and a few other examples, of course, in good old Power BI. So, let's take a peek. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen. Excellent. So, what do we mean by the art of drilling down? Well, when you look at being data driven, which is where the foundation of all this begins, what do those steps look like? And the first step is kind of prepping the data. What we see in a manual operation, where a lot of clients are today. Hey, Tyler, Jill, Ben, love seeing you guys on every Thursday. Thank you so much. Uh, when you're doing manual extracts from your ERP to either third-party reports, maybe writing directly off the database or exporting to Excel, or even writing Power BI and creating each report with its own little data set that you're managing, right, with its own measures, formulas, and so forth, it becomes really unwieldy to manage all this data in all these places. And then how do you ever drill back into the details? So step two in the maturity process is a reduction in data sets where all that data lives and where I can access it. So, step two is getting us in the right direction. We may do some API or SQL pulls, pull the data in to the Power BI data sets, and then leverage Excel, as you can see, paginated reports of Power BI off of that. But we're still not quite at the optimum level just yet. Third stage, and you've heard me talk about this before, but I'd be remiss not to mention it at least a bit each time, is to get your data, regardless of where it resides, into, we call it the magic blue cube, but it's a Power BI data set. Or think of it like your information engine, your corporate data library. Much easier to manage, more efficient to run, more efficient to secure, much more efficient to govern. And then we run our reports off of that. So what we see quite often, I call it the great divide, but you've got your financial data. You might have data in a CRM. I have Salesforce here as an example. You might have other data in construction, for example. Could be project management, manufacturing. It might be a purchase order inventory solution. But point is, I've got data, disparate data, not always set up the same. These companies never got together and said, geez, let's maximize our databases so they're so similar it makes reporting easy. It just doesn't work that way. So I'm typically writing reports off of each system independently or extracting data into Excel and then relying on whatever those values show me in Excel as a business user. The greatest thing since sliced bread. Excel is a great tool, by the way. I'm not here to beat it up anyway. It's a great data mining, reporting, what if scenario tool. It's not a great database, though. I think most of us would agree on that, hopefully. In fact, put it in the chats if you like. I always like to see the comments. And this is what we're aiming for, right? So bring all of our data in from each and every source it resides, transform it so it's uniform, much more efficient for reporting. And then the devil is in the details. Here's where the art of drilling down comes into play. So having my detailed transactions living here, so I know I can validate whatever summary numbers I'm making important business decisions on. And then one place to manage means any of the reporting tools. Just said Excel's a good one. Power BI is a really good one. And paginated reports for pixel perfect financials and the like is also a good one. But now I manage my data in one spot, make the change, it's going to propagate out to those tools properly. And then this is what we're really aiming for, right? So just imagine you have that one data set where all of your modules, all of your different measures and KPIs, things that are not that easy to custom write, like as of agings, for example, trying to hit a moving target with a date, stamp date time break on it's not always easy or filter. And then how we want to break that up by work order, business unit, account. So when you're getting to this stage, you are truly what I like to call data capable. Um, and we have a question. I like it. Let me pull this up because this is a good one. They're all good to me, actually. Can you report down to the JD Edwards transaction level? Short answer, yes. Longer answer is yes, you can. So good question. Keep them coming. So this is a truly data capable place that we want to get to maximize our reporting capabilities and have trust in the data, which is where drilling down will come into play. And I could just tell you, in our team, this is the one thing with our team I'll say on a LinkedIn Live is whenever we see a client where the lights go on and they get it and they get excited about it and they start creating more content and they really see the potential for where being data driven, having this foundation can take them, this is our team's typical reaction. So you'll see a lot of excited, pretty darn smart folks. All of the folks you see here work on one very specific goal, and that's to help clients become data driven. Currently, we've got a lot of expertise with JD Edwards, Viewpoint Vista on the construction side, and NetSuite as well, and Salesforce CRM. But truly, regardless of your system, if you're curious about the concepts we talk about, reach out, please. So let me move from here. I'm going to go to an example. Now, I'm using a construction example today, folks, but hopefully, the spirit of this will resonate across industries. So what I've done here is I've pulled in what's called a WIP report, a work in process report. This is a report very important to contractors on a monthly basis to check the health of their business financially, report to bonding and surety companies and so forth. And it's a very nice looking report. I made this agnostic, so I wasn't pulling actual client data or anybody's data. But here's my main point. It looks great. Has all the data elements that a surety or bonding company or a financial CFM, construction financial manager, would want to see. Looks great. But geez, how do I know that number? What if I'm looking at this and I think, you know what? That should be 110,000. I mean, what is that? How does that tie back to my system? And I put 11,000. Another example, like transpositional errors. So how do I trust in that? And then across the board here, you're going to see all these formulas that are just part of this specific spreadsheet. How do I know there's no errors in that? And, if I look at something like my direct contract cost, $347,500, how do I know that number is even accurate? How do I trust in that? So it's great looking, all hail the mighty Excel spreadsheet, but I can poke holes in it pretty quickly from a reliability standpoint. In fact, I can tell you from all the consulting I've done in the construction space, what most companies do when they have, that doesn't look right to me on that particular contract, they'll go back to their ERP, they'll run a historical transaction report and try and marry up all those transactional details, the totals to this total here. If it matches, great, but if not, you're spending hours. That's where you get really time lost just trying to validate, and two, make decisions on data that may not be accurate, and that comes back to get you later. So there is a better way. Let's take a look at what that would be. So here I've opened up a Power BI report, and I had an Excel example. If we have a minute or two at the end, I'm going to pop back to that to show how this same approach of being data-driven and the art of drilling down can apply in Excel as well. But here I've got a job cost out of the box Power BI report. This one's written off Viewpoint data. And as you know, hopefully by meeting with us, good comment over here from LinkedIn Land. So many manual typos and data today. That is very true. There are data points around that. I should have brought those. Shame on me, but you might be surprised if you saw that. Okay, so multiple pages on a Power BI report, but let's say I get to a WIP. So I've got an example of a WIP report that now I've written in Power BI, and it's got a lot of the same similar data. I can format it however I like. That's one nice thing with a strong reporting tool. That's cool. But we're here to talk about drilling down. and validating the data. So if I'm sitting here and I look at my cost to date on the Seattle 5013 project, I can right mouse click and I can say, guess what? Drill through to the specific details. Now this one, I've got the billing details turned on, so that's where we'll go, although that was a cost field. And if we come back up, we go to a billing field and I drill through. Then I can scroll. This is all the transactions. Now you're seeing no numbers on the right here, but as I scroll down, I'll start to see them. And I can really validate it because what's the total summing up to here? 17,61190. Now my credibility is shot if this doesn't say the same thing, but it will. So 190, here we go. So we can see it right here. And that's how I can get into those transactional details. And one other thing, if your system is set up well, when you drill into these details, if I'm looking in this as a particular, so that's override transactions, not much fun. But if I get into some AR invoicing transactions, for example, or cost transactions, and there was like a change order, for example, and there was, or a billing invoice, and there was a document attached that the system created, I can have a link right here and actually open up the originating source so I can see that. Now, it always completes the Ds I like to talk about. You have the data. You've got dialogue around the data if you're putting comments in. We've talked about that. We'll have another session around some of those cool capabilities. But now you've got the actual documents that back up the data and relate to the dialogue you're having so that you can make the final D really good decisions at the speed of light, which is how quickly our businesses move these days. So last thing I'll touch on, because I think I have another minute. This is Power BI with drilling down. But I can have the same thing in Excel. So here, I just started to do a quick Excel report. I won't go through all the details, but I could have my WIP report built right here in Excel, pulling data from that validated, well-governed data model we keep speaking of. And here's the same fields that are available that you saw in Power BI. So if I get into the transactional detail, all the transactions that make this up, I can have it where I start clicking the plus and it's going to drill down. Click just like Power BI. So Excel can give us the same capability. So it's not the tool, it's the underlying data foundation. So Power BI is great, but being data driven means a little bit more. And the art of drilling down is one of the huge benefits. We've had clients report back that 40-hour process on a monthly basis to validate all this stuff is reduced down to an hour. So that's pretty impressive. Let me see if there's any other questions that we have out there. Any other great comments? Data capable. Oh, thank you. Someone liked that comment. Okay, then. If there's no other questions, I'm going to say sneak peek for next week. We are going to be talking about, I'm going to have our VP of Product Management, Ben Harrison, come back on the broadcast. And we're going to talk about financial statements using paginated reports. And I'll give you a little hint that I'm pretty sure Ben's going to talk about drilling down there. Spoiler alert is what I was looking for. Ben's going to probably show you can drill down in your financials as well. But stay tuned and we'll see that. So, is someone able to visualize that last report? Short answer, yes. Longer answer, you know what? Let's talk about it offline because I'd be thrilled to go through it in more detail with you. All right, folks, my name is Frank, Data D. Lorenzo. We love talking about all things data. I hope you got just one or two tips out of today. Check out our website at preferredstrategies.com or just reach out. This is what we do, and we love it. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me today. Take care.